it pans over to 2 years later. Shotaro was blonde now.
Where's the dragon, though?
Anyway, welcome back to Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes. I'm still Dream Sword, and today I'm joined by one of the dudes who helped me do this game for the first time ever. Introduce yourself.
I am Nico.
And he knows everything about Kamen Rider. He's an expert.
No.
In fact, he is Shotaro Ishinomori's long lost second cousin, 3 times removed. So.
No, I only watched one series.
And this dude's like an encyclopedia. Like Nico, what is the diameter of Shotaro's left toenail? Nico.
Anyway.
But whatever. Anyways, we've woken up and there's this robo here. Her name is Ai, and she's the one who teleported us away from the big bad, so we didn't die horribly. Good stuff. So yeah.
This is actually, for me, the first time I'm hearing all of these cutscenes.
Yes. But yeah, now Ai's giving us the rundown of this facility. Basically, the gist is, this is a place that was researching core energy, a mysterious new energy source, and then something went wrong on the island, and let's just say chaos erupted, and now Foundation X people are here. Interesting stuff. So, now they don't ever really say what the quote-unquote accident is, interestingly, but based on how the environments are structured around the island, you can pretty much guess as to what happened, which is pretty cool.
They reused a lot of assets.
They did, yes. This isn't like, you know, a AAA title. You can't expect too much.
No, it very much isn't.
Yeah. So yeah, Ai now hires us to help save the island, and you know, we're the hero, so we go for it. Yeah.
I'll now summon my persona. Oh wait, wrong game.
God. This is a much better game. Anyway. But yeah,
It's a much shorter one.
That too. But yeah, our Den sensor's broken. We need Ai's help to fix it. But unfortunately, as Ai informs us, you know, outside's kind of swarming with soldiers. Not a good idea to just run around out there naked. So, what to do? And yeah, we're still in the tutorial, technically. It's just that we're done with the prologue, that's all. Now you can poke around.
You still cannot see his face.
Yeah, and now you can poke around in the room and stuff here, but there's really not a point to do it. Especially since I'm kind of recording here with a purpose and not just screwing around on a stream, so I'm trying my best to just be simple about things. But yeah, if you want to, you can go jumping around on all this stuff. Like, they don't stop you, so.
Yeah, they do hide a lot of stuff, although they straight up kind of tell you that there is something hidden next to you.
Right. Alright, so now we've got a new form here, Kamen Rider Joker. This is Ryo's favorite form. Unfortunately, it's also the worst form in the game, so it kinda sucks.
It's the most basic one. Like, yeah. There is, like, not very many special moves, and everything you get afterwards pretty much outclasses it in almost all regards.
Yeah, it's basically the tutorial form, essentially. Like, it's very much designed just to teach you how to play the game, essentially. And that said, though, it's not completely worthless. It's just that, like Nico said, everything else outclasses it, so.
Like, it comes in handy at the beginning of the game, even after you have gotten other forms, because switching between forms isn't a mechanic in on its own.
Yeah.
So having at least something to switch between is already useful, but it's just that, yeah, it gets out. It's very much outclassed by everything.
But yeah, here it's explaining how terminals are your heal points in this game. And the game also auto-saves whenever you touch one too, which is pretty nice. That said, I always manual save anyway, just because, you know, I grew up in the time before autosave, and I like to be safe about these things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could take him.
Yeah, it seems manageable. Honestly, like, you just use iframes and it's fine.
Yeah, man. And then I wait for the yellow icon to appear, and I auto-teleport over to him and instant kill them, right? That's how this works?
Right. I mean, like, that's not... Like, you fight more enemies. Like, these are basic bitch bugs. Just let me have them, right?
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, yeah, you can see the whole city is run down, and that's the gate to the harbor sector. We'll come back for that later. And here's dashing. This is something you should always do and never not do. Because there's no point to not.
It doesn't seem to consume your stamina or anything. So.
No, it just prevents you from gaining it. It doesn't drain it, so... So yeah, you're always going to want to be dashing everywhere you go. That is until you get the ability to fly, but that's later. But yeah, more explanations on stuff, you know. Again, this is a DMC clone, so essentially it's just you need to kill enemies to keep going, and there's also a style point system, yes. So... That said, this game's weird in how it determines how much points you get and whether or not it qualifies as a ranking up. It's kind of weird for me to highlight, but like I'll try. Essentially, the main idea they want you to do, again, similar to Devil May Cry, you have to vary up your attacks, which I try to do. And the more hits and different types of ones you do, get you more points. But yet... I don't know. Again, this game is weird, because there have been times where I've gotten, like, 100 hits, and it's like, normal S rank. But then I've gotten, like, 20 hits, and it's like triple S, and I'm like, okay, I guess.
So I guess they have it, set per encounter, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, and here it's also teaching you about EXP and stuff. You know, simple stuff.
Oh yeah, the SD cards with pitiful amount of XP that you will collect anyway, of course.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, one thing I never super care, like when we were streaming this game, one thing I didn't care about it was certain elements of its visual design, just how much they just make all of these invisible, visible walls.
Yeah. I mean,
like I said, it's very much reused assets town.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, if they didn't want me to go in that direction, why didn't you just make the street in a way that just doesn't allow me to go in that direction?
Right.
As opposed to just putting those floating barriers everywhere.
Yeah, that is one criticism.
It doesn't seem like...
Gone.
Because there are some things which are obviously done here to be helpful. Like, for example, the light here on the roof was there to indicate that you can grab onto it and jump onto it.
Yeah.
That is useful.
And so now here's where we learn about gadgets. So, and this one actually kind of confused me on the first playthrough. Maybe it's just a me thing. But I don't know if you remember this, Nico, because we get this cutscene where, to sum it up for you guys, again, no commentary version will be uploaded separate if you want to just read the cutscene and all that. But
I mean, the no commentary version already exists, so...
Shh! Anyway. Basically in this, they're like, hey, you know, you got this thing called the Denden sensor fixed, and you can run around, and if you use it, you can scan the area for hidden stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, how do I do that? And the game kind of doesn't directly tell you, so I thought I had to, like, hit a button or some crap. And so I was, like, standing there for, like, a minute hitting everything, and I'm like, how do I pull the goggles out? Like, but no, it's a scripted thing. So
it's basically context sensitive.
Yeah.
It's Conquer's Bad Fur Day all over again.
Kinda. But yeah, this is also where we learn about Professor Zeus, who is a huge nerd and was head of this research city, apparently. But yeah, see, like, they even have this cutscene here of him, like, pulling out the sensor and, like, looking around, so I just had the complete wrong impression. But yeah, that is one criticism I will give this game, although I don't think it's a huge deal. It's that this game is very linear. I would have liked some more, like, exploration in it.
Mm-hmm. Again, also comes down to like all of these visible and invisible walls.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, why is there even a street to the right if you're not gonna let me go there?
Right. At least let me look at stuff, you know.
But you know, then there also sort of goes back to, I mean, since you since you brought up Devil May Cry, I remember in Devil May Cry 3 in particular, I would get stuck constantly because I didn't know the one cryptic thing you had to do in order to advance to give it a mission.
Yeah, it's definitely guilty of that. But yeah, like, see here, this is where the Dun sensor is like, hey, you can use me now if you just follow my path. So.
Yeah, I remember how confused we were about this.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're wondering, you do have to use the Dun sensor to unveil hidden stuff. If you know where the stuff is and you try to go get it without using the sensor, it doesn't let you. So. But yeah, here's the bat shot, and it makes me wish this game had a photo mode. Unfortunately, though, it does not.
Shoot selfies.
Heck yeah, dude! I would take selfies with bosses in this game. Are you kidding me? But yeah, no. So because we can't actually use the camera part of the bat shot, he's just a little flying drone that gets hidden stuff for us, and that's about it.
Hmm.
So, there's not too much else to say in terms of this area or level. We're just going through the rundown city, battling people, learning about, you know, the basics of how the game works. So, in that regard, Nico, you said you've only seen one Kamen Rider series. Which one is it?
I've seen Hibiki.
And despite my warnings, you watched the second half like a fool.
Yeah, it was worth it just because of how much of a mess it became.
But yeah, overall, how did you feel about Hibiki?
Like, it was not what I expected it to be, but then it sort of like went into what I didn't want it to be. Especially considering how far they've gone in the right directions.
Yeah. And
then the second half happens, and just like, why did you hate this show so much? Why were you writing for it?
Yeah, it's a big ol' mess with Hibiki's production. But
I've read some on the wiki just out of curiosity because it just seemed so weird.
Right.
And apparently, like, the entire staff got changed halfway through.
Yeah.
And unlike with Blood Plus, it did not go for the better.
No, not at all. But here we get our first accelerators. These are basically your Eclipse.
Useless!
They're your Eclipse of this game. And they're basically just to boost your stats. But like Nico said, all the ones you get for, like, the first half of the game are pretty trash. They do pretty much nothing.
All the ones you get, period, are useless. It's like such a placebo effect, you cannot even notice if they're doing anything.
Yeah. But the good ones are the ones you get, like, at the halfway point, and also the pre-order bonus ones are really good, too. And then there's also the
pre-order bonus ones were just like alright.
And then the New Game Plus ones are OP as hell. Like Jesus.
Why are you developing them?
Why wouldn't I? This is a 100% run, Nico.
God damn it, Stan.
So this could be very useful.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that, I. By the way, I sounds exactly how I expected her to sound. I wanted to say that.
Oh yeah.
It's the default AI woman voice from Japan.
Pretty much. Now, one thing that and people who have played this game, they complain about it, but me personally, I dug it. A lot of people don't like the pacing of this game. Because it's and this is the compliment I give it. It's paced like a movie. And in that regard, I think it actually works to its advantage. And here, now that we've reached this part of the game just gives you the pre-order bonus accelerators, as well as the New Game Plus ones if you have clear data, which I do, so. That said, I'm not going to use the New Game Plus accelerators and cheese it, because that would just be boring. So, yeah.
Let's leave them for the end of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll show them off, and you can read their effects here. They're really good. But, yeah, no, I'm not gonna just stomp the whole game with those. Now, what makes the pre-order bonus ones so valuable is that they all have enemy code acquisition up, which is your money in this game. And that goes a long way in terms of everything. So you definitely want to use those if you had the foresight to pre-order the game. If you didn't pre-order the game, well, I guess you go without them. Sorry.
Maybe it's just like one of those things that will eventually just give you via an update or some shit.
Maybe, yeah. But I love this, by the way. Oh no, offense, I can't possibly go in here. Like, if only I had, like, super strength or something. Anyway.
Oh jeez, if only I could, like, do double jumps and, like... No, let's go through the sewers instead.
Yes. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, this game is paced like a movie, and in that regard, I think it works out because it basically is invoking the feeling of the Kamen Rider bonus movies that seasons tend to get as they go on over the years. So,
yeah, I will still sort of agree with the fact that this game is a lot too long for what it is. It's like because it takes about like 13 hours to complete it or so.
Yeah.
It could have easily been 8.
Oh yeah, I could have.
Because like considering how large the locations are and how you well, you cannot really go anywhere wrong. Like you've seen before, the laser invisible walls just open up into places where you can go or should go.
I have no idea how the physics worked on that punch, by the way.
You punch forward, they go backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, considering how like so much of this game is moving forward and defeating similar formations of mooks, they could have shortened some of the like a lot of the locations.
Yeah. Or if they weren't going to shorten the locations, then go the opposite direction and widen them out, give you more places to poke at, you know?
Yeah, like actually make it possible for you to take different paths or, yeah, explore.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, probably the biggest offender for like the exploration is the parking lot level.
Yeah.
It's like, which just constantly creates those laser fences, and it's not like those even it's not like those are even any kind of like in-game lamp-shaded mechanic or anything like that. It's just they're just there to impede you for no reason.
Yeah. But here we go,
And
the
also,
most copyrighted part of this game.
Oh yeah, maybe if we talk loud enough, this is not going to work. But basically, what it is, this game has some really bizarre copyrights. Some of them are what you would expect, copyrighted songs from the show, like the opening the opening CGI cutscene that you get after the prologue section.
Yeah.
That one's copyrighted as well. Stuff you would expect because it's trailer material. But this section is very bizarre because from the basically from a cutscene where you have a talkie-talk with the game gets copyrighted for walking a corridor where there is no copyrighted music playing. They copyrighted the visuals of you walking down the corridor, which is so bizarre because everybody should technically do that differently, yet it is a copyrighted material.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted Nico for this part specifically. It was just so he could talk about that, because like that drove him crazy when we were making the long play version of this.
Yeah, pretty much. Like this is because when it comes to cutscenes like those, like that pre-rendered FMV, I could remove that because it's technically trailer material. You can watch it elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it's not it happens right at the beginning of the game, so it's like whatever. Music, yeah, sticky material that better remove when needed or necessary. Thankfully, all of the music in this game was actually apparently created for the game itself.
Yeah, about like 99% of it.
Yeah, or maybe it's remixes as well, because whenever there were some copyrights that popped up over time, but they were all specifically relating to memory of Heroes and not just like Kamen Rider, whatever.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it's a good thing in that regard that I did not get the Japan version of this game, because in Japan specifically, there is a quote-unquote deluxe edition of Memory of Heroes that actually has music from the actual shows in it.
Oh.
And me wanting the Southeast Asian one didn't have that option, so yeah, I got the one that has the not copyrighted music in it instead.
Yeah, I guess it's so weird that they would release two versions like that. But then again, there was also for the Macross Delta game on the PS Vita, there were also two different versions, with one having more songs than the other one, which is just like really confusing why they wouldn't just, include all songs. But who the hell knows?
But yeah, as for the soundtrack of this game itself, it's not bad, but it's not especially notable. Like, it does its job. That's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, the exploration music is, it's background music.
Yeah.
And the theme songs are also, I think, are pretty decent. I have heard a few of them.
There we go. Anyway.
So you pasted that in from the show.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, the best song in this game is very much Over Again, which plays during the CGI opening and is the main theme of the game. I was very... Not only is it a great song, but I was impressed that they got the the people who did the theme song of Kamen Rider Double to do that song. So, yeah, very nice.
I think Bamco Namkai would have, like, you know, they're in, like, aren't they publishers of a lot of these shows in anime anyway?
They have pretty much all the merchandising rights for Kamen Rider, yeah. But yeah, now we are Kamen Rider Double, which introduces us to Philip, who is our buddy, and also Shotaro's boyfriend. And yes, they are a couple. You cannot prove to me otherwise. Shut your face. But yeah, here's Cyclone Joker, and the game tells us about more mechanics. We can now switch between riders, which is basically how you play as other characters, as well as have more life bars, essentially. And we now have another pre-order bonus, which is the quote-unquote special motions. They're basically your taunt button. They're just fun little things. They don't really do much. Like that. They have a small chance of giving you a little EX bar, and by a little, I mean very little, like minuscule.
Like you have to really look
Yeah.
close at the screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
now you picked up all of these SD cards.
Right. But yeah, the little thing they're trying to teach us here is that each form has its own little unique mechanic attached to it. This one is the air step, which is, you know, dodging and also forward momentum. Simple enough. And they give you
Yeah,
an
the
HP
movement
box even though you
options-
haven't fought yet anything.
The movement options in this game are actually like really, really fun because they vary greatly between different different riders and different forms that you get for them.
Yeah. And even, I really love how they did the forms in this game. Like, just take Double by himself, right? He is comprised of 2 memories, and every memory emphasizes a different stat or attribute. So the Joker memory is associated with burst damage, right? Meanwhile, the Cyclone memory is associated with mobility. So put them together and you have mobile offense, you know, stuff like that, and you'll see what other combinations result in as you go forward in the game. So it allows you to really...
The best.
It allows you to get really creative with what you can do in terms of every form.
Yeah, and that's just specifically for
Double
that's
here,
specifically
yeah.
for Shotaro. There are also other writers that join you as well. They have their own gimmicks, which are also interesting. But yeah, stats vary greatly, and it's also very difficult to tell what the stat upgrades actually do.
Yeah, you have to experiment a bit with them. But we'll talk about like stats and their various upgrades and stuff later on in the game when they get introduced to us proper. I don't think they get introduced in this part. I think it's in the next part that the game like goes into it, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, I love this. Philip, for those who don't know, he's like the brains to Shotaro's brawn, right? He comes in and he meets Ai, and he immediately is like, this robot sucks. He doesn't even like Ai, like, hasn't even talked to her, really. And he's like, yeah, no, we can't trust this robot chick. And Shotaro's like, dude,
I don't like Furbies.
And Ai's like, bro, I'm just a navigational AI, what the heck? I don't know. Like, just...
I'm just a tom-tom.
Yeah, totally. This is no ordinary fire. In other words, we have to go back. That's all the game is saying. But yeah, we've filled in Philip on everything we gotta do, and so we're back to trying to find Professor Ida. And
Still not. Are you gonna use the?
yeah, we're switching back to Joker because he did get hit earlier, I think. So, yeah, well, let's just take the box.
Like less than a freaking percent of HP.
Hey, gotta stay topped off, right? And no, the SD cards at the bottom there do not respawn. I checked. I check again in just a sec here. I tried to get like a camera angle on it, but it doesn't really let you look down there. So I think I do just go down there real quick just to show that no, they don't come back. Yeah. So.
But yeah, the movement options are really fun in this game. It's just too bad that they're very like hardly used for platforming purposes, because this game could actually pull it off.
Yeah, this game actually could do some good platforming, and it does in certain parts, but yeah, it's not highlighted enough, unfortunately.
Well, since all of the exploration is as limited as it is, yeah, like, platforming is just not as fun.
Yeah.
Because everything's blocked off anyway. Like, again, we'll get to the parking lot, and then we'll talk about it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Parking lot is was the location that would have been so fun if they just removed all of those blockades.
Yeah, if they just removed all the force fields, it'd been fine.
That served absolutely no purpose as well.
Yeah. But yeah, we're now coming up on the end here for this part, so thanks Nico for joining me on this one, and we'll catch you guys in the next part where I'll lose 5 subscribers. So until then.